morning guys, it's Sunday and I'm on my way to the last and second day of the Japan Writers Conference. Um, it's a little bit more animated today, like there are cars in the street at least, so it's a little bit more animated than yesterday. And it's sunny and it's not as cold as it was yesterday, so that's a good thing because we have like some walking event. It's called Walking the Narrative Landscape, and I don't know, like my point of view about it was that we are going to actually uh, walk around figuratively and like go like create a landscape and see like for example if you create um, place for your characters like a city and you can like walk walk through. I'm gonna manage walk through that city by yourself basically. Like imagine if you were walking in that city, what you would see, when you need to turn left, how long it takes to go from one place to the other, etc, etc. So that was my point of view. But because people talk, and yesterday I was talking with a guy and he thought that we were actually going to walk around, and that during our walking around we were going to talk about the narrative landscape, like how to create a landscape. And his example was that like we were at a restaurant for lunch, and his example was that the table we were sitting at could be a narrative landscape, and we could actually write a story from the point of view of the table, because the tables see a lot of different people coming with different food and they are all talking about different things. So basically we could have a completely detached story where all the characters, all the people in it are secondary, and it would be a story stay always at the same place, just with different people, but from the point of view of the table. So the table would be a narrative landscape. And so we had this conversation, and today we are going to see if we are actually going to go out and walk around, or if we are going to just sit at a table and write down the narrative landscape or something. So that's the big idea for today. That's the question I have for today. Before that, though, we have two lecture workshop thing. So the first one is about characters, and the second one is about suspense. Then we do all the walking thing, and then there is two more, and I haven't decided yet which one I'm going to choose for those. So that's going to be the surprise for me, depending on my mood at that moment, because it's not things that I'm extremely interested in. Like some is a travel writing, and I have a lot of travel blog on my blog, and I have the travel vlogs of Hawaii on my other channel, so that could help a little bit. But there is at the same time things about indie publishing and becoming like an indie writer or indie publisher. So I'm not sure, like they're not exactly especially what I'm super interested in, but they both could be beneficial to me, so I don't know which one to choose. And the last one, I don't remember what it is. So basically that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, so I'm going, and hopefully I'll do a little bit more of vlogging from inside the conference, because yesterday I started that and then I got shy, don't vlog in front of people so much, and so yeah, talking to people and stuff, so I couldn't vlog as well. So hopefully I'll try to do a little bit more from the inside, like telling my impression of it right away after or stuff like that. So anyway, let me go. I have like my half hour walk before getting there, and it's going to go up, 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 up. So guys, we just finished the first session, and it was, I'm going to try and tell you just afterwards. So it was this one, about character, and the actually thing is a condom stuffed with walnuts using character description to confirm genre convention. And so the first part was actually to read this. This is like little description of different characters, and we had to guess the genre according to what we were reading. And basically, my main guess, which made my partner laugh a lot, was that everything was romance with something else. And because basically, like every time I see something like with a description of muscles or that kind of thing, or long legs, I always automatically send that to romance. So that was my guess, plus other things. And so we actually read that, and the class discussed why it is a thriller, why it is science fiction, why it is fantasy, why it is romance, or that kind of thing, and who is the writer, like if you could recognize a writer, or at least if it's a male or female, or who wrote the thing. And some people actually managed to guess the book, so I'm kind of like surprised. Nothing that I actually read before, so I have a couple of book to add to my to read list, like Outlander and The Mist of Avalon, and I have a name of a writer as well that I want to check out. And then in the second part, we had to write our own description and discuss with our partner, and they would guess the genre we were like trying to write for that particular character. So yeah, I actually wrote a description of a real person because I was not really inspired, and I think it could fit either in some sort of science fiction, but like more of a sort of historical steampunk science fiction thing, or it could fit in a real science setting, or it could fit in crime or thriller. It could be a detective. I think it would fit there. So, but I was kind of happy to be able to actually like visualize a character and describe it, because when I write, I don't actually describe my character like as a paragraph to describe the character. You're going to see what the character look like maybe through other characters' eyes, or like just but one little piece at a time. Like he passes his hand in his black hair, so you know he has got black hair, and then a few chapters later, the girl is like looking in his green eyes, so you know that the guy has green eyes, and that kind of thing. I'd never actually give the full description all at once. Maybe I should try that sometimes to kind of variate the way I treat my characters. So that was a good workshop so far. So I hope the sound is going to be okay, because we are all like a lot of people are still discussing things, like as we are waiting for the second session to start. The second session, I don't know, it's about suspense. So hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, so it's going to start soon. We have like 5 minutes more before it starts. So talk to you later, guys. So, guys, we had the second thing. So, basically, the second thing is keep reader turning pages. So, it's about suspense. And we had like what is the difference between suspense and mystery, and like everything about how to create suspense. And there is this printout of the entire talk, so that was really cool. The thing is, this talk was actually explaining from scratch what suspense is, and also how we create suspense, micro suspense, the suspense, like how you put it through in the book, but also through pages, through paragraphs, and how you actually kill it and make it totally unsuspenseful. So there is like a lot of things going on during this talk. So you have like, for example, let me open the thing and show you a little example of what we have here. So basically there is like a 3-point thing to actually explain how to create suspense. First, you have to make the reader care. Second point is to make them wonder. So a lot of questions that you're not going to answer straight away, that you're going to answer later, and you have to start building the suspense right at the start, like not making a like happy place, like it say here. Happy people in happy land isn't going to work. You need to make conflict, and the conflict can happen in the happy scene very early in the narrative. And the last point was to make them wait. So of course you have to create all the tension and create all the waiting for the last story to go on, and until the end you have to keep the reader wait until you actually build the things. So this was really interesting, and the guy who actually gives the talk is Charles Kowalski. So we got a bookmark of his book. Actually, it's called Mind Virus. So I haven't read it, and I might read it soon. And it actually won a lot of prizes. So it means the guy actually knows what he's talking about. So it was pretty interesting. And the thing is, at first we had this question when he started the talk. He was asking, okay, you have to think a chef and a sous chef prepare dinner in a restaurant kitchen, or a terrorist detonates a nuclear bomb in a major US city. Which one is the most suspenseful? And technically, the way he explains things, you can make anything suspenseful. So the chef and the sous chef in the kitchen, you can create a very suspenseful story based on that, and you can as well create a very suspenseless story with a bomb detonating if you detonate it at the wrong place, and if you don't take care of the element of suspense while writing that story. So yeah, basically. So now I have to change room to go to the other room for my next session, because I'm not staying here. So talk to you later, guys.
Let's go on to this corner. We've got to see
Yeah, this is the ghost campus. Yeah.
I don't think anyone is using them
No, and I don't think
anymore.
it's not going to be a clear picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
So
really beautiful.
yeah,
I love
the
climbing
iron
up stuff like
stairs.
this.
Who made them and what were they
Just
used
asked
for?
him, his student here, but he says that.
So the walking thing I was talking about is actually walking outside and interacting with the place, and see how the place interact with like different elements. So for example, the forest coming into the campus here, and the campus already into the territory of the forest in the first place. So how they interact with each other, and what's the story about that. How you can enter that in the narrative, how it's like an assemblage of multiple things going on, and how to interact. So that's what we got so far. We had cards, and there are like 10 cards, and we already did 3, so we have a few more to go through. And we're like actually walking back a little bit and going to another area of the campus. And basically that's it for now, so talk to you later.
Soothsayer.
We have a new task now. Basically, we have this little card, and we have to complete a message. And the message say, "Hey, my name is whatever your name is, and I live in wherever you live. Thank you for finding my message. I left this message while visiting the campus for the Japan Writer Conference in October 2018. I would be very happy if you could take a selfie with this message near the place where you found it. Please email the picture to me at the following email address." So I put my email address. And I say thanks again. So basically we have this card here, and it also has a translation in Japanese. And you have to write a message on the back and go hide it somewhere on campus. So we are here at this place up there. I think I'm gonna go downstairs to put them. And the idea was that we need to put it somewhere where it will only be found on a special day for us, like a special date. So we had to pick a special date at the beginning of the lecture, and we had to, so we need to hide it in a way that this card is going to be found on the special date. And I'm not sure if I can manage to actually, like, I don't know this place, I've never been here before, I don't know how often people move around here or go in the different area here. Okay, stairs. So I'm gonna try to talk to you and not fall. So I don't know, like, how often people go in which area of the campus. So yeah, it's kind of a challenge to actually put it in some random place. It can be outside, it can be inside, where people will actually find it at some point, which is supposed to be a special moment. So we have 15 minutes, people have been like moving around, and then we are going to go back to the classroom. So I'm kind of on my way back to the classroom. We haven't actually walked here before, so this is also a new area for me, but I'm going back down, like we took the road before. So yeah, I put a little part of dialogue that I want to use maybe for NaNoWriMo later, this like next month. It's just a little piece, like story comes to me in pieces. So basically the character come first, and then things they might say to each other or to other character, I don't know yet, are gonna come to me, and then the story is gonna arrive, and this is like a little piece of that that story, that is not even a story yet, because I only have tiny bits here and there that I haven't even written them anywhere. So yeah, as I said, to write either a message for the person or to write something you were working on. So that's what I'm doing. I wrote something I was working on. Well, that I will be working on, but I'm already working on it because it's in my head. So anyway, I need to go find a place, and we'll see if I can manage that. The idea is that I sort of want to put it outside, but it's October and it can be rainy, so it has this little plastic pocket, so it should be okay. But it can be rainy and it can also be windy. So I'm going to go to that building here, and I'm going to see if it's open, and I'm going to put the card somewhere somewhere inside there. Hopefully I'll find a nice place, or maybe like they have a balcony with a really cool view, so I can also go on the balcony and maybe find a place here on the balcony. So let me show you the view. So here you have the view, isn't it cool? So you have the sea over there and the mountains closer by. It's really cool. I want to go to the sea later, so maybe not this afternoon, because I thought it was gonna finish at 2, but it actually finished at 3. So by the time I manage to go back down, it's going to be night already. So tomorrow I have like the entire day just to walk around and visit, so I can do that and show that to you too, if I manage to get there. Or I want to go to the canal as well, and a few museums I want to check out. So, but here is the view, guys. A card in between the pages of one of these books, so if someone want to read, they can find my card at the same time. I have to go back to the classroom because it's a 2-hour thingy, but other people who are doing the 1-hour thingy are here having lunch, and I'm hungry. So I'm gonna just like grab myself a bottle of tea, and then I'm gonna go back to the classroom and see what's next, what I want us to do next. And hopefully we'll have a time to grab a bite later, because yeah, I'm hungry. So here's I have a green tea magic Japanese thing, so I'm gonna grab that and talk to you later, guys. So I actually decided to go and get myself a muffin, and I haven't had a muffin in forever, and this is a blueberry muffin and it's delicious. And I wasn't the only one, like some people also deserted the class and were actually having lunch there. So I'm just going to go back choose a class anyway and see what happens there. And I'm happy with my muffin for lunch, so it's good. Anyway, guys, so that's little lunchtime. So we're now waiting for the next session to start, and it starts in about 3 minutes, but not so many people are here. I think some people already left the conference, and because it's the last day, you have to take the plane, which is generally from Sapporo, so it's kind of far. There is 2 more classes here. So the first one that it's a becoming indie theory and practice, practice, practice. So basically, it's going to actually teach us how to become an indie writer or publisher and probably downfalls and stuff about it. So it's going to be interesting. I was thinking of going to the other one, but the other one is 2 hours, and I kind of want to have like a break and 2 different topics. So I decided to stay here. So you can see here the screen. I'm on the first row, and like there is some papers and like things you can read about it and stuff. So I'm gonna show that to you later, and when the class is done, I'm gonna tell you what happened. The talk just finished, and it was like 1 hour to actually explain how he went from trying to get traditionally published and actually some kind of being traditionally published to the mindset of being like an indie publisher, and then it continued with what he's doing, how he's doing it, like the people he works with, the way he uses internet to actually promote his book, like all the process from writing the draft to basically getting the book cover and getting the formatting, the editing, all the people who edit his book. He has actually got 4 different editors, like from editing to proofreading. 1 cover designer, 1 assistant to actually deal with like all the thing he has to deal with for this book, like doing this research for his book and that kind of thing. And then so basically it was his own story of how he's doing it and how like what he used to do it basically. So it wasn't really like how to do it. It's more like that's how I'm doing it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Depends on you. And it was also a lot of like psychological mindset, like how to get yourself into the uh, Hindi mindset. Like how do you go from I want to be traditionally published to I want to be self-published, and like how he had to go over like the barrier that there was in his mind about being indie published compared to just the write, and let the publisher do everything else, like the idea behind traditional publishing. So that was basically what it was about, just like a 1 hour long story of how he became independent writer, independent publisher. So we are going to the last talk, and I don't remember what it's about, so let me check that out. So it's writing diverse characters that feel real, and that's a topic that I'm not really sure I care about so much, in the sense of like diversity right now, like people from different places. That's but what I actually expect to get from this talk is to have like kind of try to express different voices with characters. So I'm not actually interested in diversity as a like sense you have it on the internet, like white people, black people, Asian people, or like different religion or stuff. But I'm more interested into um, diversity for my characters, because I have demons and humans and angels and mermaids. So my type of diversity is a little bit different, and I'm trying to see if I can like I want to see if it's possible for me to find something to integrate from the diversity, like in other normal novel where you don't have fantasy or anything, like a normal world setting without magic or without like a normal world, like in this room, for example, people from different countries and stuff. So I want to see if I can integrate that type of diversity, which she's probably going to talk about, into the fantasy style, and if I can do it for different characters and that kind of thing. So that's the last talk for today. So I'm gonna talk to you about it when we're done with it. So see you later, guys. So the last talk about diversity, it turned into kind of a sort of debate, like diversity stuff always does, and that's not really my cup of tea, basically. The thing is, I don't like diversity, the way it's presented in general, and like because I don't like to portray characters or people just by one thing that they are, like their religion or their skin color or their sexuality. I know it's important for some people because that's something they are living with every day, and that's something they struggle with. So of course, if you are thinking about something every day, all the time, it's something that's going to be very important to you and that's going to characterize you. Like if I'm thinking about writing all the time, so of course that characterizes me as a writer. But I think there should be some other things to portray people. And when I'm writing, like when I'm writing my story, I have demons that are nice and I have angels that are bad. And the thing is, it's because I want to characterize people by what they do instead of characterizing them by what they are or are supposed to be. That started, I didn't actually do it on purpose. It's just the way it happened in my first novel, and that's what it's actually continued. And of course, there is a theme of racism, like people who can't stand each other because of what they're supposed to be, but they end up having to collaborate and work together to find things, and they still have this bias that they don't really like each other, but they would still do anything to protect one another or that kind of things because of the circumstances they are in, and so they learn to relate to each other. And I'm not gonna say play nice together because they're still demons and they're still gonna fight each other, but they, like, it's more of I base my character more on what they do than what everybody expects them to be. And so that's why I don't like the diversity characterization of people, because it just shows all people of one color should behave that way or be that way. And if they actually do something that are characterized by, that someone might personify as from a different color, they are playing it out as they are, or like they are betraying their race, or they are like cultural appropriating or that kind of thing. And that's not something that I actually care about or think about. I think if you take two white people, you can have, they can be as diverse because of their background story, because where they come from, because of they were brought up, because of what they read, because of what they do for a living, because of their interest, because they can be as diversified as a white person and a Japanese person who have more in common in many of those interests and field area. Of course, you still have something that is inherent to where you grew up or the way people treat you because of who you are, but I don't think that should define you. I think the way people see you shouldn't be the way you define yourself. And the other problem I had today was that the presenter, she was telling that she would actually change the way she put things up so that people would understand her better, which is good. The only reason why I have a problem with that is that when I have a narrator, the narrator is going to tell the story the way the narrator understands and see it. And because of that, I kind of want the truth of that one personal narrator to come out. I'm not looking for that character to be understood as a person, or his idea to be understood for themselves. I just want him to be able to express this idea. So the way I create my books is more of like the character expression for themselves. They are not actually expressing themselves for me or for the reader. They are expressing themselves for themselves. And of course that may lead to conflict. Like I had a book that like my Force, that is out, and when I sent it to a reviewer, the feedback was that she didn't understand why my character was changing gender in the middle of the story. My character doesn't change gender in the middle of the story. There is two storylines in parallel. One is going from 6 months ago to like 9 months ago, 12 months ago. So it's the stories that go from basically nowish to the past. And I have which has a male main character in that storyline. And I have a second storyline, and the character is going from the present to the future. So like not really the future, but present time. So it's now and what she's doing. And their stories somehow are related because the girl in the stories that go forward in time knows about the guy character whose story goes in the past, but he doesn't know about her. So I have this storyline going on. Okay, I'm in the right road, sorry. And that person who read the story didn't understand that I had two characters. And a lot of other readers actually understood there was two characters. But that's not something I'm going to worry about. It's like if she reads it and thinks that the character is changing gender for some reason, it's her own understanding that is, well, it's her own understanding. If you want to understand it that way, it's fine. It's faulty because that's not how it was intended. And it's not actually what happened because most people actually goes, yeah, there is two characters. One is in first person, one is in third person. I mean, there is like enough difference to actually see who is actually the main character in the chapter. But I wasn't about to express more of my character, or like, I mean, I could have put the name of the character as a start of each chapters, except my main character doesn't have a name. So the thing is, I could have just twisted things a little bit to accommodate that one reader with that one comment. But that's not something I wanted to do because it didn't actually fall into place with the story. So all in all, like what I try not to do is taking into account what the reader will not understand because it's not, I don't know, smart enough? I don't know, like, I think my readers are smart enough to understand what I'm saying, even if it's something that has a lot of either my personal experience or something like, well, my character experience. I'm expecting everyone to be able to understand other people's point of view, or at least accept other people's point of view without having to take it as their own. So I'm not trying to make people identify with my character. I'm letting people know that this other type of character, person, creature exists, and that they have reactions that you or me we wouldn't have, but it's just fine. So it's kind of more of an acceptance writing that I'm doing. And of course, like when I read a book and I don't understand people's behavior, it annoys me sometimes if I find it like illogical thing. Like I was reading this book and the character had like a binary vision of the world. So she would like the bad guy give her two possibility. Either you come to see me tonight, or I will have a war with the people at the camp. And so the girl was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And she saw the two options. And I'm like, why is she not just, packing up the camp and running away with her friends? Third option, that the villain didn't actually think about. That's what the logical thing to know, but that character couldn't come up with their own solution. And that really annoyed me, maybe because the character was a little bit stupid. And that really annoyed me. But I'm not trying to have that, like, I'm trying to avoid this kind of flaw. Maybe I have some time, because, well, you cannot predict all the possibility and check out all the options. Even so, after 3 or 4 read of your novel, you probably should be able to do that. But like, I want my character to have their own idea and their own life and their own way of reacting, because for a given situation, a lot of people are going to behave differently. Imagine there is an accident, and you have people around. One person is going to directly call the cops. One person is going to think about calling an ambulance because he's more concerned about the people in the car. Some people are just going to get out of the car and try to see if someone is injured by themselves. Some people are going to think, oh my god, like a lot of cars are coming, we need to warn them that there is an accident. So everybody is going to have different priorities. Of course, maybe a lot of people will react like, let's see if they are injured or something straight away, or like, let's decide who is going to do, like, organize. But some people are just gonna like butt head and just go straight ahead and do what they think is best. And so I want the possibility to see that in my characters. I want them to have their own point of view, which is maybe not the mainstream thing that everybody should do, but it's their own because of who they are and their fear and like a lot of things. So that's why when I say I have demons that are good and I have angels that are bad, that's actually what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the value the character have because of what their life was. I think is a lot more important than the little I mean, for me, I'm sorry, but I think it's a little thing like the skin color or the religion. It's like differences that are just so very little for me. It's like, oh, you believe in that? Yeah, cool. Oh, you believe in that? Yeah, cool. I believe in something else. It's fine. It's just like, for me, just like, I know it changes your behavior and what you eat and a lot of things. It's not something that I want my character that I want my story to focus on. So for me, it was kind of, building an entire character just based on one particularity. Even so, at the same time, it needs to have a purpose in the story as a person, but still, you still need to have this background. For me, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to put people or character into small little cages, like small little boxes. You are this, you are that, you are that, just because of where you come from. And I think it's maybe because I've been like living in different countries, I've met a lot of different people. So for me, a person is just a person, and I think everybody has an internalized diversity of their own. And of course, for some people, it's more extended than others. But I'm not going to base everything I do on I'm a girl who live in Japan. I refuse to do like what French people do because that's what it's expected of me. And I think if people try to do what they are, like put their own personality into thing instead of focusing on, oh, I'm this, so people are going to react that way to this, and like kind of expect people to do things, it's kind of another type of bias. It's like, oh, if I do this, people are going to react to me that way. And something really cool happened today and yesterday. I have this shirt here, which is just normal for me. It's just nothing I thought was particular. I mean, I really like it. It has a special meaning for me. I really like it. And it says, I love my squirrel. And I never had any sort of distinctive clauses that people were going to react to. It never happened to me before. But this shirt, for some reason, is just white text and black hoodie, and I'm wearing that today in a row, and people come to me with different approach. Oh, what does it say? I love my squirrel. Do you have a squirrel? Or like, I have a problem. Like, one guy was funny. He was like, I have a problem with your shirt. And I'm like, why? Why would you have a problem with that shirt? Like, because my son just texting me that I have a squirrel in my house right now. And I was like, that was hilarious. Like, for me, that was hilarious. He was a little bit more worried about the cows over there. But I thought, like, I discussed that it was an adventure and stuff. So it brought people to have a conversation. So the thing is, am I going to expect everybody who see me and sees that shirt to come over and talk to me about it? No, absolutely not. Because I'm wearing it doesn't mean I expect some kind of reaction from people. I absolutely didn't. But the reaction was still there. And the thing is, expecting, like putting yourself in a small box and expecting everybody else to have the same reaction to you because of what you look like or what you say is just it just kind of making people look smaller than they are, like making the general people around, and it's kind of a bias and it gives you expectation. It's like yeah, maybe people are biased towards you because of those things, but maybe you are biased toward other people because of those things too. And that's kind of what I wanted to say. Sorry guys, this one got really long because when I start talking about my own story, it just I cannot stop. So what's going on now? So I'm actually going to stop this video here and say, and I'm probably going to have a vlog about Otaru or two because I'm going to stay here a few days longer and I don't have the conference anymore because it was the last day. So I'm going to have vlog of the city and the canal and the places. There is actually a mountain somewhere around over there maybe, where apparently if I go there it's really cool and you have a view of everything. So I might do that. I guess it's going to depend of the time that I have and how I organize myself. So I have to check that up. I want to check a few museums too. Like, one is actually called museum, but apparently it's just a shop. And I think I already been there a few years back. So anyway, that's what's coming up on this channel. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed like the Otaru story thing and the writer conference. I learned a lot of things. I met a lot of cool people. I've got a new Facebook friend. It was really great. A lot of cool topics, a lot of things to go around, like a lot of materials that I can revisit if I need to. So it was a really cool conference. It was my first writer conference, and they have it again next year, and I'm probably gonna go again next year and check everything out. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a thumb up, to leave me your comment in the comment section below, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and to click the notification button so that you can know whenever I put new videos. And basically I think that's all the tasks you have to do, so good for you. Anyway, bye!